guys, this is Kelly and welcome to my channel. So today I'm doing my English speaking video in like forever. I've decided to film this video in English because I saw it in the comments that some of you guys, some of my subscribers really like my English speaking videos, so I thought I would make this one in English. So hopefully you guys like it. Alright, so today's topic is 3 things to avoid when you're studying English. So before we go any further, I would like to lay some ground rules here. First of all, this video is not right for you if you're just looking for some do's and don'ts in studying English. Let me just tell you from the bottom of my heart, you will eventually know what works for you and what doesn't work for you when you put enough time and effort into studying English. So if you're just fixating on what to do or what not to do, I would highly encourage you to just do different experiments on yourself and just see what works for you. Okay, and then this video is for you if you are already putting enough effort and enough time into studying English and you just want to know like if you have any bad habits or any bad routines that you might want to break when it comes to language learning. Okay everyone, so let's begin with number 1. Number 1 is staying in your comfort zone forever. So the word forever is very important here. So let me just tell you about a story of my 2 students. One student, before she met me, she always used to study grammar. So she took all the grammar lessons out there and she read all the grammar books in the world basically. So she was really into analyzing the sentence structure, like preposition or the tense or whatever it is that you can learn from grammar lessons. So she was really good at grammar, but not so much with other things like listening or reading or writing or any other things. She was memorizing the rules and she was always studying grammar. And then there was my second student who really loved writing. So she would just write journals or diaries and she just loved writing. So whenever I gave her different types of assignments, she would always do the writing homework. That was, her favorite thing to do. But she wouldn't do anything else because it wasn't so interesting and it wasn't so natural to her as writing was to her. Do you guys see where I'm going with this? The first student, her comfort zone was grammar, right? And for my second student, her comfort zone was writing. I know that all of us have our comfort zones. I have my comfort zone. Comfort zone is called comfort zone for a reason, right? It's the zone where we feel most comfortable. So when we get out of our comfort zones, it's very unnatural and uncomfortable. So it's very difficult to just break that pattern of staying in your comfort zone. And when it comes to language learning, you really have to develop all the areas and all the skills. There's reading, listening, writing, speaking, grammar, pronunciation, and even the cultural aspect. So you really have to develop all those areas and you shouldn't just fixate on one particular area. I've also done a video on input and output learning, so if you haven't watched that already, I will leave the link up here somewhere, so please go check that out. If you feel like you already put a lot of time and effort into developing one area, one comfort zone, then now is the time to develop something else. Otherwise, you'll just, develop what you're already good at. Moving on to number 2. So number 2 is choosing the learning material that is not so right for you in terms of level. So let me just give you an example. Let's say you're just a beginner. You're just learning the sentence structure and you're just learning all the easy vocabularies, but you're trying to read the book Justice by Michael Sandel. And then let's say you're like an intermediate level learner and you're just trying to watch YouTube videos and you try to listen and repeat and you choose Peppa Pig as your learning content. So of course I'm exaggerating a little bit, right? But I've seen this happening with a lot of students actually. So you just choose a content that's either too easy for you or that's too difficult for you. So I want you guys to remember that the best way to get the most out of a certain learning material or learning content is to choose the right material for you in terms of level. So I'm not saying that there's like one single content or material that's right for you. So I know that I can't put an exact number to it, but if I were to give a guesstimate, I would say like go for a content that you can easily understand, maybe 70% of it, and then the remaining 30% you might have some difficulties with. Changing your learning content too frequently is not that good, but if you feel like the one that you're doing right now is either too easy or too difficult for you, then just give another one a try. See if that one works better for you. Okay, so now number 3. Number 3 is memorizing vocabularies or phrases without a sentence or without a context. So guys, just think about a time when you just spit out a word without any context or without any sentence. I mean, I can't really think of the last time I did that. So when we learn a new vocabulary or when we learn a new phrase, we try to memorize it and we try to learn that because we want to actually use that in an actual sentence or an actual situation, right? So basically, you always have to memorize a vocabulary or a phrase with a sentence or with a context. Obviously, the easiest way to do this is to just look up some sample sentences from the dictionary. So there are so many great dictionaries out there, like Cambridge Dictionary, Oxford Dictionary, Longman Dictionary, and you can even use the local ones like, Naver or Tang or whatever it is that you feel comfortable with. So any dictionary would do. Just remember to always make a habit of reading a sentence or actually memorizing the vocabulary in a sentence or in a context. And if you are like, an intermediate level learner, then maybe just reading the sentence might be too easy for you. So instead of just reading the sentence on a dictionary, you might want to make your own sentences. And that's gonna really go a long way because if you try to come up with your own sentences, you have to think about a situation where you might be using that vocabulary or using that phrase. So when a similar situation occurs, there's a very high possibility that you might actually use that vocabulary. So if you feel like you can make your own sentences, I would highly recommend you do that. Okay, so did any of these resonate with you? Did any of these ring a bell? I'm really curious if you have any other bad habits or any habit that you might want to break when it comes to language learning. So if you have any of those, please leave them in the comments below and I'll be really happy to go through them with you. Okay, so that's it for today. If you like this content, please click the like button and also subscribe to my channel. So thank you for watching and I'll see you guys real soon. Bye!